Okay, guys, so you are now officially making me YouTube famous. Okay, someday I hope to hit GMA, all the news stations, late night TV, so that I can share my fame with you. So what are we doing now? We need to lay out our cube. So I have a cube, cut it on the miter saw. That's the first thing you guys are gonna do. But once you're done with that, we need to lay this thing out with the dice. First thing you need to know is that each side, so sides opposite each other, have to equal 7, okay? One of the things I never knew until I was looking up information on dice. So easiest thing for you guys to do is probably mark it, okay? Mark it down on the dice. So I'm just gonna put a number 1 here, okay? Opposite the 1 should be the 6. Good for those people. Brilliant, okay? 1 and 6, okay? So I'm gonna put a 2, and opposite the 2, mathematicians, should be the 5. Okay? That means we're left with 3 on top and 4 on the bottom. And that's all I did. So you can see the 1, okay? Opposite the 1 is the 6. Pretty simple. This will also help me when I'm drilling into my block to know that I only need 1 hole on that side, or I need 6 holes on this side. After you do that, next thing on your list, grab one of these drawings, right? That is going to tell you all the different measurements that you need to know. The other thing that you need is one of these things. This is called a square, okay? A couple of things it does for us. A, we can measure, so we have the ruler part of this, okay? B, it's going to help us make lines that are perpendicular or 90 degrees, or sometimes we call that squared off, okay? So we're going to use this tool. How do I use this tool? Pretty important, okay? This handle here isn't some sort of laser beam thing for those that live in the video game world, okay? So I'm not going to be like laser beaming my friends or anything else like that. That's kind of weird, okay? You're 8th grade now. So let's use this tool the appropriate way. So the handle, okay, is meant to go against the edge of the block, and then we would slide it to wherever our mark is so we can make a straight line, and we would draw it like that. I'll do this, you'll see me do it as we lay out the first thing. So hole number 1 is what we're working on, okay? We need 1 hole in the center. So if I look at my drawing on the center, the first hole, it tells me we are 1.5 inches from the left side and 1.5 inches from the top of my block. So I'm going to take my block, I'm going to measure in, I'm going to put my handle because that's where the 0 is. I'm going to measure in 1.5 inches, and I'm going to place a mark, okay? Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to spin the block. I'm going to make sure the handle is against the side of the wood. I'm going to slide this to my mark, and I'm going to draw a straight line across. So it looks like that. Now, second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take and from that side on that line, I'm going to measure in 1.5 inches again, and I'm going to put a mark, and there's my center point, okay? That is my first side that I need to do. Okay guys, so here's a little bit of a different angle for you. So again, I am going to work on the 1 side, okay? And I will mark this with a 1. So a different angle, just in case you didn't understand from before, okay? Now the drawing, when again, I grab the drawing, now hold this close to you. We are working on the 1 side, and it tells me, okay, I need to measure 1.5 inches, so arrows are pointing up to down. That means I'm starting from here to here. That's what I'm measuring, okay? And then this top one, arrows are pointing left or right, so it means I'm measuring from here to this side, okay? Both of those measurements, 1.5 inches, 1.5. So again, what I'm gonna do with my ruler, okay, I'm gonna hold it on the side here, and I'm going to make a line 1.5 inches in. I'm gonna put a mark, just like that, okay? Now, I can flip the block, make sure my handle's against the edge of the block. I'm gonna slide the ruler to the mark, hold on to it, right? Make sure this thing doesn't slide around, and I'm gonna draw a line across. This line, if the handle's against here, should be nice and straight and perpendicular, okay, 90 degrees. Now, down that line to get my center point, all I'm gonna do is again measure across that line, 1.5 inches, put my mark, and I'm done, okay? There's my center point right there. That's where I'm gonna drill my hole for side 1. Now, how do I do this for side 2? Well, let's see. Find side 2. There it is, side 2. Don't know how well, we'll find out how we can see this, okay? And I gotta look at my drawing again. Now, side 2 is telling me that I have holes in the corners. So there's one in this top corner, top left, bottom right corner, okay? These measurements are 0.75 or 3/4. I have to make sure I measure in from the side, in from the top. This one is gonna be in from the side, in from the bottom, okay? So that they're across from each other. So how would I do that? Again, I'm gonna take my square. I'm going to now measure 3/4 of an inch, okay? If I'm using the 1/8 inch side of the ruler, larger lines, I'm gonna count 6 of those lines. Make a mark, okay? Remember, I'm gonna flip the block in the square. I'm gonna draw a straight line. Doesn't have to be for this one completely across, okay? But in this area, I know, so in that area, I know is gonna be that mark. So once I have that line, again, I'm gonna use my square, I'm gonna put it on that line. Trickiest part is holding the square on your block. Measure my 3/4 of an inch again, and make a mark. So there's my first side, that is my center point, okay? Now keep in mind, the other hole has to be in the opposite corner. So that opposite corner is gonna be here right now. So I'm just gonna flip this block around, right? I'm going to, again, measure 3/4 of an inch. I'm gonna flip the square in the block. Draw a line. And three-quarters of an inch again, make my mark, okay? So my two sides should look like that when I'm done. Now keep going on, you have 4 other sides to do. Once you're done with that, you can start drilling. Any questions? Ask.